Hello everyone and welcome to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. I'm sorry if my voice is a bit weird. I am very sick this week. And finally I got some time and I am gonna cast this game after losing the TL Open. I lost in the first round. How sad is that? Also, big news, DreamHack is happening this weekend. Right now I think it's DRG versus Lucifron that's playing out. I am keeping an eye on that. That is going to be awesome, so don't miss DreamHack. Also, we are ever so closer to being close to the Diablo 3 release, or at least the beta release, and I am going to post my first video of Diablo 3 right after this. It is going to be a PvP build, a team of PvP builds that I think should work pretty well, so keep an eye out for that. Now, this game is going to be La on Zenamoon, so I don't think this is FXO's Moon, but he is playing none other than makaPrime, the blue Terran. Maka is now just throwing down his barracks, so we are still very, very early in the game. And yeah, I'm sorry again, I haven't been posting as many videos as I have this summer, but I have been working 40 hours a week. I know a real job really sucks. Don't ever get one, but it is a must if you want to survive. Now, both of these guys, Korean players, makaPrime hasn't been playing as well as he could potentially, I feel like, lately anyways. Because he used to be on top of his game and playing all these great players and winning most of the time, but lately we haven't seen as much as we could have. He has been playing a bit more sloppy. I don't know what's up. Maybe he took a small break. He is going for gas after his barracks right now, so we might be seeing that hellloo Open that is ever so popular right now. And this first Marine gonna actually chase away that drone, but Moon has seen the gas from makaPrime. That's all he wanted to see. He is now going, oh, and he knows that his hatchery first is gonna be very safe, even if makaPrime decides to throw an SCV and to Moon's base and throw down a bunker. He knows he's going to be very safe because it's not going to be any kind of very fast pressure. Meanwhile, a factory is going up for makaPrime. So we are going to most likely see a reactor on the barracks. There it is. They are going to be swapped out and start producing Hellions. This is the most standard opening lately in TVZ. We always see this because it is so hard to actually deal with because you have to sacrifice so much as Zerg just to stop these Hellions. But fortunately for Moon on this map, this here is a very small choke, so 1 or 2 spine crawlers can actually completely deny the Hellions unless you want to suicide them in, but in which case they will not come out, so you have to do a lot of damage if you decide to suicide them in. Now, I love these spawns for Moon actually, because if you spawn, remember this map allows close spawns, and if you say spawn against the Terran in this position and this position, the Terran will actually expand towards you, and it is very hard for the Zerg to actually take a third base because you have to expand towards the Terran. But in cross positions like this, the Zerg is free to expand everywhere, and that muted play becomes so much more efficient. You see 2 spine crawlers being thrown down at the front of Moon's base. They will be able to deal with these Hellions quite easily, and now Moon is actually going to be free to drone up behind this. You can see 4 drones in production. There is another spine crawler in production. I guess it just finished. It was this one. And these 2 Hellions are going to try and walk up here. Nice catch by Moon with the slow lings, so still no gas for Moon, at least not enough gas to actually get speed up. It is now 3/4 done, but slow lings at this point. I'm surprised that speed is not done. I love this spread by Moon. Might as well use that APM for something. You can see that makaPrime's APM is almost as high. He is now just, his command center is almost done. The follow-up of this build is usually a command center. As soon as that first tank is out, he will be able to siege the low ground. This is actually a very small choke to defend, and the natural expansion is very easy to defend for the Terran player. Now, 3 Hellions making their way across the map, but they won't be able to do anything. An Evo Chamber being planted down just to narrow that choke point even more for Moon. That Hellion taking a shot at the Evo Chamber, but not going to do much, being thwarted away. You can see that the drone count is now 39 drones to 26 SCVs by Moon. So Moon, I have to say, he is looking very good at this point. These 2 Hellions, I think one of them just died to a spine crawler. Or not, they don't have any kills. Maybe the Queen did, nope. But these 2 Hellions are starting to work away at the destructible rocks, but fire is not very good against rocks. Finally, the expansion is going up for makaPrime, and he needs to do some kind of damage. Now this next push that is going to come out from makaPrime has to do a lot of damage, because it is going to be his strongest push before the mutas are out. Moon will have to defend this basically with only Lings and Banelings, and with Hellions out, it is going to be that much harder to actually defend the push. +1 melee attack is coming up for Moon. I love this decision, as well as the macro hatch, because he has been delaying gas for so long. He is going to be able to produce insane amounts of Lings following this, and this push is actually going to be so scary. I personally always lose to this push if a Terran actually pushes out to this, simply because there is no straight up answer to this except seeing it come and actually getting a very nice surround along with very nice Baneling hits. You can see the Baneling nest is now done. Researching Baneling speed. I love the fact that he's getting Baneling speed before starting his Spire. But he is also getting his Spire right after this, because he obviously has 4 gas worth of income. Nice surround by Moon, picking off these Hellions. And these are very small victories, but very important victories, because in this army, the Hellions are going to be the things that deal the most damage to the Zlings. Now, it looks like Maka is about to push out, and this doesn't look like it, but it is very strong push, especially with siege mode on those tanks. Stim pack is going to be done by the time Maka actually walks to Moon's base, and it looks like Moon is actually going to try and surround this before it gets there with only Nings, no Banelings in this pack, and he does come back home. He does not want to engage these Marines with only Lings, because that is so hard to do. +1 is almost finished. He is going to wait for +1 before actually engaging this. Some Banelings are morphing in, but they might be caught off guard by makaPrime's Marines, and I think he could have actually shot some down. Some of them will survive, but Moon really needs more than this. He is producing a lot of Lings, and 16 more Lings as well as 5 mutas. I think he will be able to actually deal with this pretty easily. This spread is actually not going to work into makaPrime's favor, because the Lings are going to get a nice surround on the Marines, and the Banelings won't be as effective as they could be. He is going to engage here, losing a lot of Lings, but the mutas will easily clean up the rest of this army. These 2 tanks are not going to hold. This single Marine thinks he is the shit. He is going to just start hacking away at this hatchery. He says, I got this, but a lot of Lings come here and surround. It was very easily dealt with by Moon, so now he is 99 to 82 supply. He is very much ahead at this point. He has a lot of Lings. He cannot counterattack, obviously, into this bunker in 3 tanks, but he is free to expand 3 or 4 times. I would love to see another expansion here, actually, by Moon, because obviously he has map control, he has mutas out. makaPrime is in no position to actually walk up across the map to kill an expansion. He could expand even down here, because there is no way that makaPrime can actually attack this location without being very vulnerable inside his main base. And I am very sorry for the stutter, but as I said, I'm a bit sick, and it is not pleasant to actually talk this much when you're sick. But Moon walking inside the main base with the mutas, losing 2 mutas now, being a bit careless, but he did delay this reactor on the starport. Reactors are so long to actually build, it is kind of sad, and if you can delay that as much as you can, it is very annoying for the Terran player. It is now 132 to 93 supply, and Moon really looking very good. He keeps his Muta production up. He is getting +1 flyer attack as well as ground carapace level 2 for his Lings. His Lings are already 1-1. Meanwhile, makaPrime's Marines are 0-0, so Moon is getting a huge upgrade advantage at this point. You can see that +1 for the Marines is almost done at this point. The second orbital command is done, but there is no way he can actually move out from his main base because this is just a scary army for Moon. If he does decide to expand or move out, he's just going to get surrounded, and the sheer number of Lings are able to take out all these Marines, especially since they have a huge upgrade advantage. I'm surprised he actually got Carapace level 2 before melee attack level 2, but he is starting these within 20 seconds of each other. I would like to know why he actually got Carapace level 2. Siege tanks, obviously, without that +1 attack, will two-shot Lings, and that is very important. Will two-shot Lings if they do have that +1 Carapace upgrade, but the +2 doesn't actually do anything. But it is always good to have. Now makaPrime is actually going to try and get the third base. These 3 turrets are actually denied by Moon, so great Muta control. He did not even lose a single Muta, and this is when Maka is actually very vulnerable. I think that Moon could actually just A-move inside this army and just rip it apart, especially with these Mutas. It can go in the main base. Maka is just so spread out right now, and there is just a scary army from Moon. Look at all these Lings and Banelings. If you see in the unit counting station, that is 104 Lings, 19 Banelings, as well as 8 more in production, and that is just so scary. He could just completely surround. Maka is going to be moving out across the map, but Moon does see this, and he is positioning himself to actually take this out, and I think that this will actually be the end. He is expanding behind this. His 4th base is already done. makaPrime is not in a good position at this point. Look at all these Lings on the map. It is 131 Lings. I love this positioning by makaPrime. Going to try and siege up the 3rd base. Moon decides to split up his entire army. He is going to go across to the 3rd base and try and kill that. Meanwhile, this army is going to be dealt with quite easily with only half of Moon's army. Remember, if he sacrifices this, he can rebuild it so fast because he has 2,000 minerals at this point. He is just going to walk up here. These Banelings getting some nice shots off, not being able to clean this up, but meanwhile, inside the main base are a ton of Lings, Banelings, Mutas, everything across this, and huge Baneling hits on all the SCVs. And even if somehow makaPrime decides to take out this 3rd base, I mean, Moon just transferred all his drones to his 4th base. makaPrime is not mining from his main. He's not mining from his natural. He's not mining from his 3rd base, and this has got to be GG. These Mutas are going to clean up the rest of the Marines, now going to kill the tanks freely, and there it is, the GG. Moon taking a game from makaPrime, really playing so well, actually. Moon is... I can't find any fault in this game at this point. Maybe some tiny control error, but just taking away this game so easily from makaPrime. So tune in for the next videos, guys, and thanks for watching.